This too shall pass. I'm sure you've heard this before, but when you're going through something very heavy in your life, these words mean nothing, because in that point, you're not thinking about the future. All you're thinking about is trying to get through, get over this heavy emotion, this heavy feeling, and just move on in life. But it's not that easy, is it? Especially when you're going through something heavy. And today I want to bring a balance in this statement. When someone is going through something really heavy, there is someone or the other always comes up and says that this too shall pass. And it's true. It does pass. Everything passes. But at the same time, I'm trying to bring about balance in saying that even if something is good, when the going is good, that passes too. We don't we don't account for it, we don't think about it, we go with the flow, and that flow is so fast. Before you know it, the good times have gone, and you wonder what happened. Why couldn't this just be? Why didn't this just continue? What did I do so wrong? What happened? There are so many questions that come in your mind. But that is the entire cycle of life. That is the entire circle, that is the entire phase, that is the entire journey, however you want to think about it. It is always up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. It's just somebody else has made the rules. So I really don't know what is the logic behind it, but that's what it is. You learn the lessons, you experience the lessons, and all of those things. I've spoken about that in my previous videos as well. That either are you here to experience certain experiences to the fullest, and maybe that is when your cycle is complete, or are you here to learn lessons? And if you're here to learn lessons, you will know them because the cycles keep repeating, and somewhere you feel it's incomplete. Why is this cycle not ending? Maybe you were meant to learn some lessons. However, this has nothing to do with learning lessons. This has nothing to do with experiences. This too shall pass. This is this is just that loop, up and down, roller coaster ride, or however you want to think of it. Imagine, let's say you have gone through one of the best phases of your life, and they did not come announced either. It just so happened one thing, something good happened, and that created a domino effect. And the next thing that came in your life, that next experience that came in your life, was even better, and the next one was even better. For example, maybe uh, let's say you started when you were young, or if you are young, however you want to interpret it. You just started in life, let's say a family life, and it was beautiful. You met somebody, or somebody entered your life, however it is, but there was togetherness, and it culminated into a union that started a phase of a life. And you had dreams and plans, and those kind of things, and they were all working out. The union was so good, it was so smooth. It began, and the next phase began, where there were just good moments, the honeymoon phase, or whatever it is. The phase was good, and the next phase began. You had children, and that was good too, because the children started growing up, and you were so engrossed in that phase of your life. You were grooming the children, you were being groomed by yourself as well, as a mother, as learning patience, learning motherhood or fatherhood too, a parenthood. Let's just say parenthood. Being a parent brings out a whole new persona that you didn't know existed within you, but it comes out. It requires you to be mature at another level, be patient at another level, be wise at another level, be um, smart at another level, be it's a package, and most of it comes out in parenthood. It tests you, it rewards you. That's the cycle, that's the phase. However, you are in that phase and everything is going smooth. And this goes on for a few years, because it besides the growth of the family, besides the growth of the entire unit as a family, there's growth outward as well. There is growth in everything, the materialistic world. in the outer world. You have different set of friends. Because of the children, you make friends from the community. You have a different set of, maybe you move geographically because it was required for your children. The children have come to probably change your destiny as well. So you move geographically to a better place, to a different place, and that's good. That phase is good too. And that changes, that evolves you as a human being personally as well, because you learn a lot in terms of adapting to a new place, in terms of communicating, articulating yourself better with new friends, with a new set of community, because it was required at that point, and you showed up, and it worked out. Everything was good. And the next phase, and children are doing well, and etc., etc. So you're proud parents, and the children are happy as well. And that's a phase, that's a cycle that rewarded you in ways that you cannot measure. That's the beauty of it. That's the gift that you were offered in this life. However, as this message goes, that too passes, and something happens that is challenging. Challenges come, and it requires you to change your perspective. It requires you to be a different person. But you were so used to living this life of a good phase, of things going smoothly, things going well, that suddenly when this comes, you don't know how to handle it in that moment, and you feel it's the end of the world. Because because as challenging as that situation is, to you it is, you give it probably initially a place of permanence in your mind, and you're saying, and you think this is it in that moment, because that's how the vicious cycle works. So you think, this is it, this is never going to end, I don't know how I'm going to get through it, and many other low vibrational emotions will surface, which are needed, because that's where your growth is. That's what you're meant to learn. That's what you're meant to overcome. And end this phase. This too shall pass. But you have to go through that. You have to go through that phase. The challenges come. They get more difficult one after the other, and you feel, what is it? What's, these kind of, what's going wrong? Why is this happening? Are the planets not aligning? What's, are the stars, who's upset with me above, and so many other things. You evolve, you connect yourself with the situation, and you're understanding your inner light with spirituality, or however it is, whatever it is that you believe in. So you try to connect with that, and you try to understand the situation so that you can handle it to the best of your ability. And you think the way to do it is maybe sit in silence and connect with energies that I'm not able to understand at that moment, and you do that. But this phase takes it all from within you, and that is something that you struggle with, because you had a good phase. So it's not that you cannot handle the bad phase, it's not that you had a good phase. It's probably think of it in a different way. It's the it's the awareness. You know what the good feels like. So you understand now, this is the challenge, the difficulty, the hurdles. Now you understand this phase of life. So that is what makes it harder for you, because you compare everything to all that was good in your mind, in your heart. And when this comes, you think, why? But that's just how it is. That's the balance that I was talking about, because this was the good phase. You had this at the best time of your life, and it was a gift. Because you had this, if had you not come in a different phase of life, which makes you feel that, when will this end, when will this pass, there would be no balance. The light versus dark, heavy versus light and whatever it is, then the scale would just be like this is all this is, and this doesn't work that way. The universe has a way of balancing. It doesn't care who it is. It does not care. I don't think it cares about anything, gender, or all those complicated topics like your race and things like that. Universe just wants to bring balance, and it does bring balance. It brings balance about in every soul that has come over here. So because you had the good, and this is going on in your life, but it is, you feel in that moment that you've given it a permanence. So you feel you are not able to think of the future. You think, will this end? This may not end. This is forever. This is going on and on and on, and you just cannot. Your brain is not even open to entertain the idea that this too shall pass. So when someone tells you this too shall pass, yes, in on a subliminal level you understand, yes, this too shall pass, but somewhere you don't want to believe it. You want to believe it, you don't want to believe it, you are angry, you are, all of those things, those are natural things. But this too shall pass, because if that passed, the best phase of your life passed, this phase will end too, and then the real phase will start, where you have seen the light and the dark, or the balance, or the balance that I talked about, and you are at a higher level, maturity, wisdom, uh, just on a higher vibration, I would say. And with that high vibration, you have seen it all, and you look back and you say, yeah, it was a phase and it passed. So, and you realize in life, everything, good, bad, ugly, it passes. So if you are in a phase where you feel, where you've given it an a permanence, it will pass. This too shall pass is what I was is what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying, even if you're something, it's not in a bad way, but even if there is something um, exceptionally well that's going on in life, is just have that awareness that everything comes in phases. Phases pass, next phase comes, that phase passes, next phase comes, it passes, everything passes. So don't give it a permanent place. It's an experience. It's an experience to feel or learn something. Either ways, that is something for you to figure out. I spoke about it in my previous video, but yes, this too shall pass. Everything passes. The idea was to just bring about a little bit of awareness, so that in case you are going through a really difficult time in life right now, this too shall pass. That was the idea. And um, I just hope, I'm not saying, yes, just start feeling good because I said this too shall pass. No, I'm nobody in the sense to influence anyone, but maybe just the awareness for yourself, and you will help yourself. That's what I always try to do, to bring awareness so that you can navigate your life for yourself, so that you're in a better place each passing day. I hope it has helped, and thank you for listening to me and staying connected with me. Let's see what I come up with next.